NFL now. Rookie minicamps start tomorrow, if you could believe it, and especially for the Browns. They have a very crowded quarterback room, and despite going later in the draft than we all anticipated, you know, all eyes are still going to be on Shedeur Sanders. Let's welcome in our Browns reporter now, Daniel Oyefusi. And so, Daniel, how is Sanders getting ready for his first day of rookie minicamp?
Yeah, Shay, I spoke to someone close to Sanders who said that he arrived in Cleveland early last week, just a couple of days after he was drafted, to get acclimated to the city ahead of his first rookie minicamp. Now, during this time, Sanders has been working out during the day, having some throwing sessions, and then at night, he's cramming this Browns playbook, trying to master the terminology and the lengthy play calls that are a lot different from the college game. Now, Sanders does arrive in Cleveland with a larger spotlight and expectations than that of the average fifth-round pick, and maybe that's just the nature of his NFL pedigree and the fact that he was believed to be one of the top quarterbacks in the draft before falling to day 3. Now, as for those expectations, Sanders is embracing it. After he was drafted, he told reporters, quote, "I'm a Sanders, so there's going to be expectations no matter where I am."
Okay, well, that is factual. And you can read more of Daniel's reporting on Sanders' expectations right now on ESPN.com. Daniel, we appreciate you. Thank you for the insight. Enjoy rookie minicamp and all that Shedeur Sanders is going to bring to it. Look, everyone talking about Shedeur Sanders, even Tom Brady, who had some advice for the young quarterback.
I actually texted Shedeur because I know him very well. And I said, dude, like, whatever happens, wherever you go, like, that's your first day. Day 2 matters more than the draft. I was 199.
Yeah.
So who could speak on it better than me? Like, what that really means. Use it as motivation. You're going to get your chances. Go take advantage of it.
And he's right. Let's welcome in NFL analyst Damien Woody, who witnessed firsthand Brady's rise from pick 199 to QB1. Look, Shedeur Sanders has to navigate, as we talked about, a very crowded quarterback room. It includes Joe Flacco, a veteran, Kenny Pickett, fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel. What are your expectations for Sanders' rookie season, D-Wood?
Yeah, listen, first and foremost, I think he's in a great opportunity. We know you just listed all the quarterbacks that are on the roster for the Cleveland Browns. You talk about we know what Joe Flacco is at this stage in his career. Kenny Pickett is on his third team in so many years. And then obviously you got the 3rd round pick in Dillon Gabriel. So, listen, Shedeur Sanders obviously, disappointed being picked in the 5th round, but he has a great opportunity with one of the best play callers in Kevin Stefanski to really show out this year. Remember, Shay, the Cleveland Browns had 2 first-round picks next year. So I think the Cleveland Browns going to use this opportunity to look at those 2 young fellas to see if maybe they're the answer at the quarterback position.
Yeah, it's a good point. I actually forgot about next year's draft. Also, you think back to what Flacco was able to accomplish during that 5-week stretch where he started for the Browns back in 2023. He led the NFL in touchdown passes and yards. Let's not count out Flacco, okay? Damien, we'll see you a little bit later on. Thank you very much. Let's go to Sanders' former college teammate now, Travis Hunter. He got his degree today. Our ESPN senior writer, Adam Rittenberg, tweeted this, something that does not get talked about nearly enough. Travis Hunter was a 2-time first-team All-Academic American. Really impressive college career in multiple ways, and he is right on that. Congrats. Mini camping. Time to get our first look at the players taken in the recent NFL draft. 26 teams begin rookie minicamp tomorrow, including the Titans and the #1 overall pick, Cam Ward, the Jags and Travis Hunter, and the Giants and Abdul Carter. And then there's the drama with the Browns camp with the quarterbacks, Shedeur Sanders, and of course, Dillon Gabriel. NFL analyst Damien Woody back with us now. Let's evaluate the Giants quarterback situation now. Jackson Dart, 25th pick in the draft. He'll be fighting for snaps with 3 vets ahead of him, including Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. When do you expect we could see Jackson Dart get some playing time?
Yeah, Shay, listen, I'm never one to put a timetable on when a rookie is ready because everyone develops at a different time. But I think initially it's going to be Russell Wilson's job to lose. And I think it largely depends on how the season is going. If the Giants are hanging in there and Russell Wilson is playing decent football, then more than likely we're not going to see Jackson Dart out there on the field. But if the season starts going sideways and Jackson Dart is showing, progress throughout the season, we'll see him sooner rather than later. So I think it's dependent on the season and how Russell Wilson is playing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wonder if we even have to see him this season. Wouldn't it be nice to have a rookie just sit back and watch a year like the good old days? Hundreds of rookies, though, will take the practice field this week for the first time. Which one of them, D-Wood, though, do you think will have the biggest impact this upcoming season?
Yeah, for me, it's Cam Ward for a couple reasons. Number one, we saw with Will Levis there's a couple things that hurt offenses in your team the most. Turnovers and sacks. And Will Levis committed both of them in bunches. And so Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick, he's really good at taking care of the football. He's mobile. He makes, really good decisions, and he's a really good athlete at the quarterback position. So I think that combination of taking care of the football and being a dynamic playmaker at the quarterback position is really going to help the Tennessee Titans moving forward.
Hey, I am with you on this, D. Wood. Quietly, the Titans are putting together a very good offensive line. They have wide receivers now in place. They've got some talent. The Titans could make some noise if Cam Ward does a good job out of the gates. D. Wood, stay right there.
All right, the Cowboys made a big move yesterday, acquiring receiver George Pickens from the Steelers. Dallas gets a number 2 wideout to pair with CeeDee Lamb. Pittsburgh gets draft picks and is left with question marks at receiver behind newly acquired DK Metcalf, not to mention uncertainty about who is playing quarterback. All right, D. Wood, who in your estimation made out better after the Pickens trade? Was it Pittsburgh or Dallas?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. It was such an obvious need having that number 2 wide receiver. We've been talking about it, seemed like forever, CeeDee Lamb and then everybody else at the wide receiver spot. Now you have an explosive playmaker in George Pickens opposite CeeDee Lamb to draw some of the coverage away from CeeDee Lamb. And this is exactly what the Dallas Cowboys needed. They needed another dynamic playmaker out there on the field. And so if you're George Pickens, you're elated to go to the Dallas Cowboys because for the first time in your career, you're playing with a top-tier quarterback in Dak Prescott, and now with a bunch of quarterbacks that's been a revolving door.
Still TBD, of course, if Pickens fits in with the culture there in Dallas. I know, obviously, there were a lot of questions about what happened in Pittsburgh, but it seems like the Cowboys finally did something right.
We had breaking news in this program yesterday morning.
Remember,
Cowboys bringing in George Pickens on a trade. The Steelers for a 2026 third-round pick. Cowboys also sending a 5th rounder and getting a 6th rounder in 2027. Pickens will be the number 2 receiver opposite CeeDee Lamb, bringing big playability, averaging more than 15 yards per reception last season in Pittsburgh. The updated playoff odds for both teams, the impact was noticeable. Pickens trade on ESPN Bet, creating slight movement in the market for both teams. Cowboys plus 200 odds to make the playoffs, still ranked 3rd in the NFC East behind the Eagles and the Commanders. Pittsburgh also the 3rd shortest odds in their division behind the Ravens and the Bengals. It's time for a little would you or wouldn't you with NFL analyst Damian Woody. It looks better today than when that photo was taken years ago. Damian, would you or wouldn't you buy the Cowboys as a playoff team right now?
Randy, I would. I think Jerry Jones made a bold move in addressing a major need for the Cowboys. Their number 2 wide receiver in George Pickens. And if you look at that duo in Dallas with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, that's a top 5 duo in the National Football League. With Dak coming back healthy, I think the offensive line is going to be better. The defense is going to be able to get after people. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to find themselves back in the playoffs in 2025.
Top 5 duo in the NFL. Okay.